In this video, I'm going to start teaching you a new framework that I learned yesterday. It is named as kivymd. Kivymd is one of the popular framework in Python, and there are a lot of specialties are there in kivymd framework compared to other framework. So using kivymd framework, we can develop applications, softwares with cross-platform supported abilities. I mean, if we develop any application on this framework, you can deploy the application in different operating systems. That ability is called as cross-platform ability. The concept of cross-platform is you don't need to alter the code on your application for different operating systems. Once you develop a code base in kivymd, it can support on different operating system if it get deployed. So I am currently learning this framework. The source that I took for my learning is from YouTube. Let me share the source of mine. But don't consider this a promotion. It is definitely worth to learn by using this resource. So when I scrolling the YouTube, I found one channel called Build with Python. In his channel, he dedicated a separate playlist for kivymd basics. If you want to learn this framework, I recommend you to go through the basics of kivymd from this channel. Once you understand the basics of kivymd, then it is easy for you to go through this video. So if you already know about the Kiwi framework, then this video is for you. And I have planned for this kivymd. If you are watching this video right now, then my plan is already executed. I'm going to create a new playlist for kivymd. In that playlist, I will upload end-to-end machine learning applications which are made up with kivymd framework. This video is a starter video of this playlist, and definitely this video is not a machine learning related one, but it will be a good starter project video to kickstart kivymd framework. So before starting this video, do like, share, comment and subscribe. It will help me to motivate and it will bring you more new contents from Python every week. So let's get started. I already told you about this. This video not contain all the basic information about the kivymd. There are some prerequisites are there. You have to cover those before entering into the script. But I try to explain the basic stuff that I'm going to implement here. So first things first, you have to import the required libraries for this project. The first library is we have to import the texture from kivymd. And second one is image function, and third one is clock function from kivymd. I will explain the functions of these libraries when we are actually using it in the script. So these are the libraries which are from kivymd. Additionally, we need some more libraries for performing the QR code detection and tracking the camera. For that, we need Opencv and web browser libraries. The purpose of the library is once the QR code is detected in the camera, it will decode the link behind the QR code and redirect you to the website. So these are the major purposes of these two libraries, and I forgot few libraries here that are very important to this program. So let's import those libraries. The libraries are mdapp, mdboxlayout, mdfillRoundFlat button. I will explain it later. So let's write some code. The kivymd has some code structure you have to follow if you want to build any application on it. First you have to create one class, and here I name this class as QR code detector. And in this class, you have to call the mdapp function that we imported previously. By doing this practice, we will inherit all the properties of mdapp into our main class. Okay. And next, declare a function called diffbuild and pass the parameter self in it. You have to understand that if you want to add any attributes to your app, you must use this self variable to declare attributes to your apps from kivymd package. And next step, we are going to add some attributes to our app that are theme styles and primary palette. So type self.themestyle and give value as dark. There are some built-in themes are there in the documentation. I don't think we can add custom colors to our app. I'm not sure about it, but in coming weeks I will explain about it. And next step, add the primary palette and give the value as yellow. The values that you are giving here are case sensitive, even though it is a string value, but you should follow the case sensitive approaches that they followed in their documentation. So successfully we added two attributes to our app. Next thing, we need to design the layout. For creating the layout, I already imported one library called mdboxlayout in the top. By using this module, we are defining the layout here. So type mdlayout and pass the parameter orientation here. So this parameter explains the layout orientation to your app. Here I want my app orientation as vertical type. Next step, we have to set some container to place the video screen in between the windows. For that purpose, here I declared one variable called self.image and I called image method in it. Now we have to add this attribute to our layout. To do this, we have to type layout.widget and pass self.image to embed the attribute to the layout. Suppose if you want to view the link behind the QR code, then you can click the button to visit the link in your browser. For creating the buttons, you have to type self.direct button and call the button module that we imported before. Here I want fill round flat button. It is some type of button that they have. You can explore more button varieties that present in their documentation. This button has some design attributes that are text, position and size. You must have to give value to these attributes in the button method. So after giving the values, we created a button successfully. Now our duty is to add some function to the button. So create self.direct button.bind. Here bind method is used to assign some functions to our button. In the bind method, there are two attributes are there. One is on press and another one is on release. I think you all aware about the two types of attributes. On press is when you are pressing the buttons, it will do some functions. On release means it will do some work when you release the button. So this is the major difference between these two. So that's all about the buttons now. I have to add this button widget to our layout like we did before. So type layout.add widget and pass the variable direct button here. Next we need to add function from the Opencv. So create self.capture and type cv2.video capture. This variable is used to capture the webcam video feed. And one more important function from Opencv is we have to call the QR code detector. So type self.detector and call cv2.QR code detector. Next one is the video frame rate. We imported the clock module in the top of the script. Its function is to determine the frame rate of our app. For determining the frame rate, you need to type clock.schedule interval and pass some attributes here. And I forgot to explain the thing here, like the self.load video and self.detect. Both are not pre-built functions. I'm going to create the function in upcoming phase, so don't get confused. You can see here in the clock method, I added some math that describing 30 frames per second. So it's a simple math. So again, don't get confused with the step. Okay, if you have any doubts about this project, feel free to ask me on comment section, and there are Instagram and Twitter links are available in my description, so you can use any one of these to reach out to me. I will definitely help you if I get some free time. Okay, so we added all the attributes to our app. Now our work is to make the elements in the screen to do some work behind. Okay, I already told you we have two functions. One is self.detect and the second one is self.load. First I will explain self.load function. So let's write some code for loading the video in our project. So declare a function called load video and create variables frame. Here you need to write some familiar code from Opencv. Generally in Opencv, if you want to capture the screen, you will call capture.read method. Same way here you need to type self.capture.read and then create another variable called self.imageframe and pass the value frame. Now here our live video will be stored in the image.frame variable, so we can use this variable in anywhere on this code script. Okay, so next one we have to create one more variable for detecting the QR code. Luckily we don't need to type some complex code for capturing the QR code. Instead of that, you can simply call one method that is called detect and decode. And in this method you need to pass our live video frame variable, that is self.imageframe. Okay, so now look at my code here. I declare a data variable and it will decode the QR code and it will get stored in the data variable. So this is the concept that I implemented here. I guess you understand everything till now. So let's move to the next step. So this step is a little bit complicated, but I try my best to explain the things to you. Now create a variable buffer and in this variable type cv2.flip and pass the frame variable in this method. Basically this variable will help you to get the mirror dimension image. So right, when we see the mirror, it will interchange the positions of right and left. So exact approach is implemented here, and I added one more step to this function that help you to convert the video into strings. So this is for drawing the video frame in our app screen. Okay, so this is a complicated step that I mentioned it before. So next two steps are kind of complicated here. We have the live video data. We have to place the video frame in the screen. So Kiwi has one function called texture. Basically it will help you to draw anything on your layout. The concept that I'm going to implement here is I'm going to pass my video frame and some measurements into the texture function. Once I loaded the parameters, it will draw our video frame in the layout of our app. So this is the main thing. I will copy paste the code here. If you want to understand full functionality of this texture function, just go to their documentation. I will provide the link in the description. It will help you to understand very clearly. And last function is detect. So create a function called detect, and in this function you need to add some code. The code will open the QR code data into the browser. For opening the links, we are using here a library called web browser. Using this library, we are opening the data that's stored behind the QR code. After these two functions, we need to add some extra statements that are important to run this app. So once you developed all the logics for your app, at the end you need to type some conditions and call your main class name here. Our main class name is QR code detector. So call the class method and add attribute run to make this app viewable. You can see that our app is running. Show any QR code in front of the screen and press detect URL button. It redirects you to the link that present in the QR code. So this is the process of this app. So this video is a starter video in this series of kivymd. I will upload further machine learning videos in my channel with the integration of kivymd framework. I hope you will give some support to that. So that's all about this video. If you like this video, give a like and subscribe and share for more interesting concepts in data science. Thanks for watching and thank you. See you on next week.